Hey guys, Silver Shady here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemonday. Alright, so couple of small little updates before we get into the actual deck here. First of all, as far as Sunday's episode, I do apologize for it being delayed, but me and Silver Melody went to a pre-release. And we actually did pretty well with it. So, just gonna real quickly show you what we got here. So, here you go. Alright, so let's go over these pre-release polls. Start off with one Rotom Dex. We got 3 Nest Ball. Playset a Timer Ball. And we got 1 of the new Ultra Ball. Unfortunately, no, it's not the gold. I didn't get that lucky. Alright, and moving on to our supporters, we got 1 regular and 1 Rev Holo Team Skull Grunt. We got 4 of the Ilima, 2 regular and 1 Rev Holo Lily. Got 5 of the Professor Kukui, however the fuck you pronounce his name, whatever. Anyway. Energy, we got 1 of the new DCEs and 1 Rainbow Energy. I love how these look. Alright, we got 2 of the new Energy Evolution EVs. Playset of non-holo Passimian. Got 1 Rev Holo Dragonite. Got a Holo Sharpedo. And a Rev Holo Oranguru. So, decent there. And the one I'm most excited about, we got managed to get a playset of the new Dragonair with Dragon's Wish. Once this actually gets released, I'm hoping to put that into a deck. I'll keep you guys posted on that one. Pre-release promos, we got Bruxish, the shittiest one. Got the Passimian and the Oranguru. And now on to the GXs. And we'll start right off the bat with Donald Trump GX. Also got the Primarina GX. And a regular art Espion GX as well. And the 2 more important ones, we have a full art Espion GX. And a hyper rare Lapras GX. And that's about it. Okay, so also another bit of an update. It should be noted that pre-release, if you guys, anyone who has gone to it, I'm sure you already know this. For anyone who hasn't gone to this last one, just be prepared. It's not so much a pre-release, it's more Mount Moon. Because everyone will have 3 Zubat, 2 Golbat, and 2 Crobat in their 23 card evolution pack. So when you're building your pre-release decks, or however they format it where you are, just keep in mind lightning type Pokemon are gonna be your friend. So, and if you don't believe me, here's a picture. Okay. Anyway, enough with all that crap. Let's get into the actual deck list here. So today we're going to be going over a budget Volcanion list for Standard. This is the list I've been tinkering with a little bit. Just going to go over a couple of the basics. So to start off with, we have 4 Baby Volcanions. Baby Volcanion, naturally. Don't really care about its Steam Artillery attack. It can be used, but I never have. For the most part, the main attack we're going to be using is Power Heater. For 1 fire energy, it does 20 damage, and you choose 2 of your benched Pokemon. For each one of those, you attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to them. So it's nice accelerator early game, which is why we play a full count of them, because we want to make sure we hit them right off the bat. We also run 3 of the Volcanion EX. Volcanion EX is going to be your heavy hitter. Volcanic Heat for 2 fire and 1 colorless does 130 damage, and this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. So, a bit of a give and take on that one, but keep in mind it also has an ability, which is what makes it super useful. Steam Up. Once during your turn, you may discard a fire energy card from your hand. If you do, during this turn, your basic fire-type Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active. Naturally, a couple of Steam Ups, and you're starting to swing for about 110 if you can get all 3 of them onto your bench. Which doesn't happen often, but it can happen. Now, because this is more of a budget list, you'll notice we are not running Shaymin. Budget. Trying to keep it cheap for you guys. So instead of running Shaymin, we are running a 2-2 Octillery line. As I mentioned with the deck building 101 video, there are 4 different Pokemon acceleration cards. This would be number 2. Octillery having its Abyssal Hand ability, allowing you once per turn per Octillery to draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So just keep in mind it is a stage 1, and it is not a grass type, so you can't take advantage of Broken Vine Space, also known as Forest of Giant Plants. But usually this deck doesn't really care too much about explosive early game starts. So, and we also are running a 2-2 line of Starmie. Ability Space Beacon, which is why we run it. Once during your turn before your attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, you put 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your hand. Naturally, you can't choose a card you discarded with the effect of this ability, but it's usually not an issue. Also, I chose to run the Staryu from Breakthrough only because, while it has the same HP as most of the other Staryus in format, it is the only one I found that has a colorless attack. So God forbid if you ever need to use it, continuous spin if you get damn lucky. Maybe you'll get 18 heads in a row and knock out an EX with it. But yeah, that is absolute worst case scenario. I've never actually had to use it, but it's there if we need to. Lastly, to round out our Pokemon line, we run 1 Devour Light Promo Giratina. Naturally, the Giratina, its ability, each Pokemon break has no abilities, and this includes abilities of its previous evolution. This is for Greninja, because from my testing, this deck has a horrendous Greninja matchup. Mostly because Greninja likes to run Silent Lab nowadays to counter Giratina, and even when they don't have Silent Lab out, if you don't have Giratina, they will snipe your bench, and they add up damage fast. And also because we're weak to them, we need to have a little bit of an advantage. So if we can knock out their Giant Water Shurikens, it at least turns that unfavorable matchup into about a 50-50, which is pretty good. We're going to get into our supporters here. We run the standard 3 count of Sycamore. We don't run 4, just because it doesn't seem like we need it too much. You can include that 4th copy if you want. I chose not to for this one, though. 3 copies of N, 2 copies of Lysander. And now we're starting to get into our one-ofs. We have 1 Fisherman. Support card allows you to put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your hand. Really useful with this deck. We run 1 copy of Olympia. This is mostly because Volcanion EX has a fat 3 retreat cost, and we really don't want to be paying that. So having a switching option that allows us to literally get it from the discard pile, really helpful. Also on top of that, it helps to reset Volcanic Heat, because you can essentially just keep using Olympia to keep switching between 2 fully charged Volcanions and just keep swinging every turn for a ridiculous amount of damage. 1 Pokemon Center Lady, mostly for the Evilton matchup to try to prolong our how long we can stay, our staying power, I guess you could call it. And we run 1 copy of Pokemon Ranger. This is for Volcanic Heat mostly, but you can use it if you need to, say, hit a Jolteon for, because it used Flash Ray last turn or something. But either way, we run 3 copies of Scorched Earth. I originally had 4 in this list. I decided to drop one because I found that it was flooding my hand too much. 3 is a really good count, but keep in mind, if you're playing the Greninja matchup, wait for them to drop their Silent Lab before you start dropping your Scorched Earth. It's the one thing that will give you an advantage in that matchup. If you can run them out of supporters before you run yourself out of supporters, you're going to be really, really well off in that match. Alright, on to our item cards, I should say. We run 3 copies of Ultra Ball, 2 copies of Dive Ball, because a lot of our Pokemon targets are actually Dive Ball targets. We have a grand total of 11 out of our 16 Pokemon that can be searched out with Dive Ball, so it just makes sense to run a couple of those. We run 4 Versus Seeker, pretty standard with any list. 1 copy of Switch, 1 copy of Super Rod. We're running 1 Professor's Letter. This is just to help drag more energy out of the deck so we can either use it with Scorched Earth or Steam Up. 1 copy of Escape Rope, just, again, helping things get out of the active. 1 copy of Energy Retrieval, just another way to get energy back into our hand. And we also run 2 copies of Fighting Fury Belt, and 2 Float Stones. Again, just tools that we can throw on, say, Volcanion, or usually the Float Stone will go on your Artillery. And then lastly, we play 11 Fire Energies to round out our list. So, we're going to take this into a couple of games and see how we do. Okay, so Fighting Psychic deck. Interesting. And honestly, on this one, I have no idea. So, we could see anything at this point. And yes, we will go first. Lugia comes through for us. Okay, so we start Lone Volcanion. Here's what it is, I suppose, but... Fighting Fury Bell, Escape Rope. Oh, we have someone that is actually playing the Nest Ball. Interesting. Oh, that's because of the starter decks come with them. So, alright. We will take them all. Okay, so we hit Carbink. Right. Do we want a Scorched Earth? Yeah, let's Scorched Earth here. We're going to play the Fire Energy onto Volcanion, play the Float Stone. I'm going to grab the Ultra Ball, discard these 2 here. And we're going to go ahead and find a Volcanion. I don't want to grab the Giratina yet until he Break Evolves it, if he's even going to. Simply because that having him not know that we have the Giratina may help us a little bit in the matchup. Not much, don't get me wrong, but just a little bit, and every little bit counts. So, I'm going to grab the Remoraid, play that down, and I think we're actually going to sit on this hand. Yeah, let's sit on this. I want to use that Fire Energy for a Steam Up before we start Sycamoring it away. Alright, so we're going to get Escape Roped here. So we'll send up the Remoraid here. I don't mind if that fights the dust. We still have another one in the deck. Alright, so Steven. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, Steven is one of those supporter cards that you just do not see people run. Only because it really is not that great. It searches out a supporter and a basic energy card. Yeah. As an item card, it would be useful, but as a supporter, it's just... yeah. It's too underpowered for a supporter. Okay. Another Carbink goes onto the bench. And we see a double colorless, it looks like, onto the Carbink. Okay, so we're going to get the Staryu here. We are going to Steam Up. Try to bulk our damage a bit. And we're going to drop the Sycamore for a Slow Clap. And holy shit, we fucking dead Drew. Alright, so we're gonna Scorched Earth and get absolutely dick. Great. Alright, so Sycamore those two away. I'm gonna grab... I want to grab the Octillery here is the question. I think in this case we do grab the Octillery. Even if he does knock it out. Alright. We're gonna play the Fire Energy here. And we're actually gonna retreat into our Volcanion. Then evolve into the Octillery. And we're gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball here. We're gonna get rid of our Scorched Earth and a Versus Seeker. As much as it sucks to do that, it's gonna be necessary. Oh, that's a fucking problem. Okay, so it looks like we prized our other two Volcanions here, so... Let's grab the Starmie off this. I don't think we can play it yet, but yeah. An Abyssal Hand. Okay. Alright, at least it's something. Alright, Power Heater. Hit that. I'm gonna get an energy on the Volcanion and get an energy on the Staryu to try to help with the retreat cost right off the bat. This next turn we do have Olympia to help out a little bit, so... And hopefully, with our prizes, we hit our other Volcanion EX, because we have two sitting in there. Alright, search your deck for a basic and put it onto your bench. I'm beginning to wonder if he even runs the Carbink Break. I mean, it would make sense to do so, but I haven't seen anything that would indicate he is running it, so... He's playing a Nest Ball, so it'll allow him to search his deck for a basic Pokemon and put it right onto his bench. And we're seeing the... Okay, the Passimian. Okay, so we're just facing a straight-up Sun and Moon deck at this point. And at this point, I think I'm gonna sack the Staryu. Again, I don't mind if that bites the dust. And after all, that is why we attach the Fire Energy onto it. He does a whopping 20 damage. Alright, so we're gonna throw the other Volcanion back onto the bench here. Evolve into Starmie. That'll keep its retreat cost the same, so I'm not terribly worried about it. We're going to Scorched Earth. Alright, so we hit a Fighting Fury Belt, which we'll attach onto here. Do I want to play the other Remoraid is the question. I think in this case I don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and Steam up. Go. And... Versus Seeker for the Sycamore, but I think we're going to use the Olympia in this case. Bring up our Volcanion, heal some damage off that. Go ahead and Space Beacon here, get rid of our Remoraid. We'll grab 2 Fire Energy cards. Take that, we'll slap one of those onto our Volcanion. And we'll Abyssal Hand drop until we have 5. Okay. What do we have in our discard pile? We have 2 Fire Energy cards, so I'm not going to use Super Rod, just because it just won't do us any good. Okay. Get an energy onto our Volcanion, and our Volcanion EX. Okay, so Professor Kugawai, he's going to be able to draw 2 cards and do an additional 20 damage this turn. I'm going to lay a Fighting Fury Belt onto the Carbink. Yeah, I don't think he runs the Carbink Break. So it is definitely a good thing we did not go to grab that Giratina. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and discard the Fire energy card. Draw 2. Actually, we just hit the center lady, which actually might be an important play. Let's see, what kind of HP do you have left? So you have 100 HP left, so I don't need to use Volcanic Heat this turn. So we're gonna go ahead and retreat into this. He's got a strong energy on that, so he'll be able to do 70 damage with a Power Gem. Not something I'm terribly worried about right now. Yeah, I think we actually sit on this and just use Volcanic Heat for the knockout. And thankfully that's one less pass of me and we have to worry about coming into play here. And we hit the Lysander, which is actually pretty good. And it's times like this that I really wish he did play the Carbink Break, simply because that would just make things so much easier for us. And I'm beginning to wonder if he actually runs Scorched Earth as a stadium. I haven't seen him throw any away yet, but he seems to be using it. Unless he doesn't run any stadiums, which would be an interesting choice. Okay, so we're going to get a Versus Seeker here. Going to use Kukui again, okay. So he's going to be able to hit for 90 now. Which is what it is, but... Gonna get a Float Stone. Okay. Alright, so we got hit for 90, so at this junction, I'm gonna go ahead and play the Escape Rope and see what he brings up. I'm guessing, yep, the other Carbink. So we're gonna bring up our Volcanion here. I'm gonna go ahead and center lady some damage off of our Volcanion EX. And we're going to steam up here, ditch one of our energies, and we're gonna find out how many we have in the ditch here. We have 2, which works out beautifully. We don't want to be attaching any right now. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to use Space Beacon here, and we're going to drop the... We're actually going to drop the Super Rod. Grab those 2 back. Okay. We're going to go ahead and use Power Heater here for a knockout. Now, next turn we'll be able to take another knockout on that Pessimian down there, so... Again, no other Volcanion EXs. I'm kinda a little peeved off about that. This is definitely an interesting deck, and this is one thing that Sun and Moon is definitely going to do, because Sun and Moon is starting to come out now. We're going to start seeing a lot more decks like this that just the metagame hasn't seen yet. It's one of those sets that's going to affect the meta. Now, it should be noted, the set itself doesn't drop until February 3rd, but the theme decks have dropped, which is why he's able to play things like Professor Kukui and our fucking monkey guy down there. Because those are in the theme decks. All the cards he's played so far you can get in the 3 theme decks for Sun and Moon, which again are out, and you can use them. Alright, so I don't have to worry about team play yet. Fling might be a bit annoying, but... And this is definitely an odd deck, because we have to play around the Carbink. And because, again, they're not running the Carbink Break, apparently, it's not like we can just drop down Giratina and then just keep swinging like we normally would. Okay, and he just passes the turn. Interesting. Well, we're gonna take advantage of that. We're gonna switch into our Volcanion here. Not even really gonna do... Okay, and he scoops right there, so that's gonna be the game there. Alright, we're gonna complete, I believe, 2 daily challenges. Yep. So we get 1 Primal Clash off that. Holy shit. And we got the Fire Reward Sleeves. Nice. So we won the coin flip. We will be going first on this one. So we're gonna go grab our Remoraid here. Looks like he started Lone Umbrian. Not sure how worried about that I am, but play the N. Which kind of sets us up pretty well for next turn. I'm gonna go ahead and drop another Staryu down. And we're gonna pass, because I want to see what else he's packing here. Okay, one of the Ultra Balls. Nice. An N and a Versus Seeker. Interesting. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's Rainbow Road. We're actually gonna get Escape Roped here. So we're gonna just bring up the other Volcanion, because there's no point in switching to anything else. Alright, so we're gonna get End in return. That's fine. Get hit with an Ultra Ball here. It's fine. We might actually just be ending right back anyway, so... Let's grab Hoopa. Alright, that Hoopa's probably gonna grab him a Volcanion, a Shaymin. I'm not sure what else. Maybe the Jolteon? If he runs it? Let's see. Definitely Volcanion Shaymin, though. Just the Volcanion Shaymin. Okay. Alright. Brock's Grit and Sycamore go to the discard pile. Getting another Rainbow Road Xerneas. Interesting. Does he have the DCE or not? No, he has the Shaymin in hand, and that's... Oh man, he's drawing through his deck like crazy. Okay, Skyfield. Alright. Can't say I'm complaining about that. Alright, so we are gonna have the Galvantula on this one. Alright, there's the double colorless. Now, are you gonna knock us out or not? Yes, you are. Okay. Okay. Play down some of our hand here. He's only got 3 cards in hand, so I'm actually gonna Sycamore here, because I really don't want to be dealing with that. Good God, and we just dead draw constantly here. Okay, so we're gonna grab the Octillery, because we can discard a lot of the cards in our hand here. Drop the Fighting Fury belt onto our Volcanion EX. Just in case, God forbid, a Lysander comes our way. Causing him to discard probably a Shaymin, I would say. He's okay, so he gets rid of the Hoopa. I suppose technically either one of them works, but, you know. Again, me personally, I probably would have gone with the Shaymin, just because it's a 2-prize liability that's a lot easier for me to hit than the 120 number. But, unto all their own, I suppose. Oh man, what is with us and not hitting any energy whatsoever? Okay, so in this case, we're just gonna have to sack another prize, because we have nothing. We have nothing we can work with right now. Alright, so we get the Sky Field again. Fail that dive ball. Alright. So we're going to cause a bit of a disadvantage on his end. Go ahead and Lysander that up. Just because I'm feeling like that kind of person today, we'll use Abyssal Hand here. Oh, thank God. We actually hit a damn energy. So we're going to leave his stadium and play this time. Power heater here for 60. Accelerator onto this one, I think. Okay, so we get Lysandered. It's an interesting thing to see. Do we have our Olympia in our discard pile? Oh, no, of course not. That'd be too easy. So in this case, we're gonna have to drop the Scorched Earth here. Not that I'm happy about it. He's just gonna get rid of one of his Joltex, I imagine. Okay, yeah, use our Scorched Earth. Still get nothing. I don't want to escape rope that. Beginning to think I don't have much choice in this matter, though. We are going to steam up regardless. How many energies do we have in the ditch now? We have 2. Do we Sycamore or not? That's a big question. Actually, theoretically, we have a way around it. Alright, so we're going to escape rope here. He's going to bring up something. Don't know what yet, but we'll see. Yep. Okay, so we're going to bring up our Volcanion here. And we're dealing 60, 90 damage right now. Not quite a Shaymin knockout. Put a good lick on that Umbreon, but it has a 1 retreat cost, so we'll probably drag the Volcanion back up. So yeah, we're gonna Lysander here. Lysander your Volcanion back up here. Yep, that just happened. And we get the heartbroken symbol. So we're going to steam up again. And hopefully this time we can actually put a damper in this thing. We're going to power heater again, get 90 damage on it, accelerate 2 energies, and go to the next turn. Now, if we can get one more hit off on this this Volcanion EX here, which actually we will be able to get that last hit off, which I'm kind of surprised that he's letting us get that hit. I'm actually debating if it'd be more beneficial not to take the hit. Because it honestly might be. How many energies do we have in the discard pile? We only have 1, so we definitely need another one in there regardless. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna steam up here. And the question is, do we want to grab anything from out of here? No, we're gonna hang on to our 2 Versus Seekers. We are gonna power heater. Get a nice 60 damage hit. I mean, I suppose we didn't have to steam up, but thank you. Well played to you as well. And we're gonna grab these 2 prizes here. We get a Center Lady and another Versus Seeker, which I'm more than okay with that. Alright, so free retreating Joltik, no big surprise there. Yep, teammates, okay. Now, depending on what he plays, we might be able to either take the Shaymin or the Umbreon. I'm debating on which one I like more. Then again, if he also brings the Volcanion back, we can also just take a knockout on that, too. Certainly would be the last person to be complaining about that. Well, that's assuming we can get the 2 fire energies we need for it. Big assumption, but... Let's see what he grabs. Because that may alter how we do this. What he grabs will definitely affect how we take our next turn. I assume most of them are going to play it out almost immediately, so... Instead, we're just going to get hit with a Rainbow Force here. A Genesect goes down. Okay, I'm not complaining at all about that one. Okay, do you knock us out? Yes, you do. Barely, but you knock us out. Okay, now here's the big question. Do we... Okay. We don't have any free retreaters, so yeah, we're gonna send up this Volcanion. We want to try to win the prize trade as much as we possibly can. That is our goal with this. If we can win the prize trade, we win the game. So we're gonna Lysander here. I need 2 steam ups to be able to knock out that Umbreon. I need no steam ups to be able to knock out that Genesect, so I'm not terribly worried about that one. Ooh, wait, that's... yeah. I should be able to get that off, yeah. Yeah, I can do that, okay. So we're gonna Lysander the Umbreon here. We're going to steam up. Gonna use Space Beacon here. Discard our Giratina, because we don't need it this matchup. That'll grab us 2 more Fire Energy cards, which we can then steam up again. Put that in the discard pile. Attach that from hand. And we can go ahead and actually... might as well use Abyssal Hand to grab us another card, see what happens here. We got a Float Stone. Go ahead and lay that down. I doubt it's going to help us much, but we'll see. And we're going to go ahead and Volcanic Heat for 190, which is going to be more than enough for a knockout. Going to take 2 more prize cards. And assuming we don't get dicked over, then next turn we just Lysander up that nice Genesect that he was so kind to give us. And we actually will have a game here, so... Alright, so, yep, we see... Alright, he's not going to be able to knock us out, actually, I don't think. Unless he hits, a Sky... Okay, Skyfield and another type of Pokemon would be the other requirement. Does he? No, but he hits the Fighting Fury belt. And now he hits the other type. So we are going to get knocked out here. Not by much, but we are going to get knocked out. Ironically, if we had the other one out, we wouldn't have, but either way, we still win the game. He's down to 1 prize. Not too much of a concern. We're just going to go ahead and Versus Seeker here. And this is what happens when you don't end your opponent. This is a prime example. And yeah, and there's the victory right there. So once we got the Lysander, he knew it was over. So, alright. Okay, so we had one interesting match, and one that was actually fairly close to a pretty meta deck right now. So hopefully it'll give you at least a good idea of what the budget list of Volcanion can do. Once Sun and Moon comes out a little bit more in depth after February 3rd, I plan on building a secondary Volcanion list, I guess. That one will run Shaymin, but we'll see. We're definitely gonna have to see how the format goes from there. But anyway, yeah. For now, that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.